A man mugged me last month. He didn't take my wallet, but he took something I can never get back. Both went down in a tangle of limbs. Run. I mouthed at the woman, a silent, desperate scream. For a second she was frozen, and then her survival instinct kicked in. She scrambled away, her footsteps echoing down the alley as she fled into the night. I felt a flash of triumph. It was short-lived. The thief threw me off him with an effortless, terrifying strength. I landed hard against the brick wall, the air knocked out of me. Before I could recover, he was on top of me, one of his cold, skeletal hands wrapped around my throat. He leaned down, his face once again inches from mine. The foul, earthy smell was overwhelming. A pointless gesture, he hissed, his voice a dry rustle in the dark. Your flock has scattered, and the shepherd is about to be devoured. His grip tightened, and I felt my consciousness start to slip. He was laughing, that same dead leaf sound, and then he opened his mouth. I will see it in my nightmares for the rest of my life, however long that may be. It wasn't a mouth anymore. It stretched, unhinged, widened, the flesh pulling and distorting in a way that defied all physics, all biology. It kept opening wider and wider until his entire head seemed to be nothing but a gaping maw, a perfect circle of absolute, starless black. It was a hole in the world. I could hear a faint, high-pitched ringing coming from it, a sound that seemed to pull at the very edges of my soul. He was lowering this void down over my face, and I knew, with a certainty that went beyond terror, that he was going to consume me. Not just my body, but everything I was. And then, a sound of a siren cut through the darkness. It started faint and far away, but it grew louder, closer, wailing through the night. The thief froze. The black hole of his mouth receded, snapping back into the shape of a thin, bloodless line. A look of pure annoyance crossed his gaunt features. With a final, contemptuous hiss, he released my throat, scrambled to his feet, and was gone. He didn't run. He just faded into the deepest shadows at the end of the alley and vanished. I lay there, gasping, dragging in ragged, silent breaths as the police car screeched to a halt at the mouth of the alley. The woman I'd saved had found them. Of course, they didn't believe the real story. They found me battered and bruised, and the victim hysterical. To them, it was just a mugging gone wrong. An attempted assault. The woman tried to explain about the voice, about how she felt like she was in a trance, but they just nodded and wrote it down as a symptom of shock. When they asked me for my statement, all I could do was pull out my little notepad. They called in a psychologist from the Victim Services Unit. They were kind, they were professional, and they were completely useless. So here I am. My throat is bruised, but the doctors say I'll be fine. Physically. My voice has not returned.